Guys, my friends, my comrades, my pals, my dear viewers, do you ever get so hyped up and excited about something you just saw that you just start pacing around your room and just kind of thinking about the implications of it, and you have a really hard time focusing in on the video that you know you need to create? Because that's what's been happening to me, and all the conversations that keep happening just make me even more hyped up, and I really, really love Xenoblade. I really love the Xeno series as a whole. Every time I think I get away from the series, or every time I'm just kind of away for a while, it pulls me back in every time I see a new trailer or anything like that, and I just get really, really excited, and I'm like, man, that's my favorite series of all time. So I figured we can just kind of talk in this video about the final trailer that we have gotten here and all the really cool implications that have been kind of just posted about, and all the cool potential connections and implications of the things that we have seen. I really love Xenoblade X initially, and if you guys haven't played this before, I really encourage you to buy this and play it yourselves, because this game is going to be awesome, and I'm really, really looking forward to playing through this game again. So, without further ado, let's just kind of do this last kind of trailer analysis and reaction type video here. It's not going to be too terribly long. It's not going to be the super detailed 3-hour analysis or anything like that, but you know what you guys know what you're here for. You're here for a more quick analysis, just kind of what we can glance at a first watch through of everything, and just kind of the hype moments. You're here for the hype moments, right? So if you guys are looking forward to Xenoblade X and would like to see more Xenoblade content from me, all the guides I'm going to create after the game comes out, even some pre-release content by some things I want to see, maybe a couple theory videos, and just kind of any other kind of content I create to make sure my channel's not completely dead before the game comes out, please be sure to subscribe. I'll be covering the game in a lot of detail, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see guides of the channel. I do want to hit 100k subscribers soon as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just kind of get into this. Let's talk about this video and all the new things that we have seen, and maybe some of the old things too, and just kind of the updates and the excitement that we have seen there.
Releasing hatch. Please
I'll go ahead and turn the volume up here a little bit. You can't hear super well. So this is just the opening. A lot of the stuff in this trailer is definitely just kind of a recap of some of the stuff from the previous games that we can see in the new updated art style, which is really cool. I think Alma's eyes look a little bit different.
From your stasis pod.
So we got the character creator here. This is really cool. We got the Mithra hairstyle there. Oh, I missed it. I'm sorry. But we got the Mithra hairstyle, the Pyra hairstyle, I think the Nia hairstyle. You got all these different hairstyles that have been added to the game. There's a bunch of different new options from things I have seen. Now, I don't ever really take character creation seriously. I always kind of make joke characters or just stuff like that. But, for the people that really just want to have the roleplay of their dreams, they can make Pyra, Mithra, and Nia now. So that's really cool. I do appreciate having more options for character creations, because, you have the option to swap this at any time in this game, which is really nice. So I'll probably be messing around with that a lot, especially for some of my videos.
Of humanity.
So, your main character is not super important to the story, but, it is nice to just kind of have the option to customize how the character looks in those cutscenes, at least.
Casualty of an intergalactic war between
So,
races.
this is the opening cutscene of the series. The Earth gets destroyed, and this is the main thing that made me think it was not going to be connected originally, but I have some ideas about how it could be connected since, different things happen to Earth in the Blade series and the X series, as you might already know. But man, Mira looks beautiful. The planet this game takes place on is just really, really beautiful. Especially on this with the updated graphics. And I really, really love the open world in this game. There isn't nothing really new at this point in time, but, you get to see kind of just how the environments look, how huge a lot of the enemies are, and just in general. You got different and updated font. Everything has been updated to kind of look a lot cleaner, in my opinion. Everything is, like, the font was really small in the original game, so it's really nice that it's a lot bigger now. Everything else, they didn't really change a lot of the core features of the game, at least, but it seems like they've streamlined a lot of stuff, which is really nice.
Welcome to New Los Angeles, a city built from the remains
New Los Angeles is the hub world city. All of your quests, everything that you can find,
the city is divided into districts.
it's usually going to be here.
Commercial, industrial.
I love how they have to go through all of the
It's also home
districts,
to all kinds of people.
even though it doesn't really matter too much.
Here, you can obtain protective gear and powerful weapons that'll aid
As you might expect, most of the best gear is monster drops and not stuff that you can buy from the shop, but there is a couple things from the shop that is worth it at least.
The planet's creatures might not take kindly to trespassers.
I love how they show the Telethia in this trailer.
In battle, you'll strike with normal attacks, as well as special moves called
So, most of your combat is just going to be arts, especially once you access Overdrive. The UI for the arts definitely looks a little bit different than the previous game. This is the soul voice explanation. Typically, these are worth using if you have a full cooldown on them. Otherwise, you'd probably want to wait for the secondary cooldown, because that usually is just going to be the higher multiplier if you need to wait for like a secondary or tertiary cooldown. But it is helpful because you do get some healing from using soul voices as well. That's like your main source of healing in this game, especially once you get enough potential. So that is something to keep in mind as well. Of course, with Overdrive, you have so many ways to keep yourself just kind of invincible anyway that it just really doesn't matter. I love how they say Overdrive does massive damage, and then the setup that this character has is just so pathetic they just barely do any damage anyway. It's kind of funny, honestly. But, you know, still. Having the color combo in the corner is nice as well. I'll also be making a guide video about it, don't worry. But even still, it is nice to have that. It is really nice that the base time seems to be upgraded to 25 seconds as well, making it a little bit easier earlier in the game to keep Infinite Overdrive up, especially if you're not used to it and just kind of want to experiment a bit more with these systems. I think that is a nice change, because it used to be 15 seconds. It used to be a little bit more annoying to kind of keep that up, and it is nice now. But come on, you're level 30 character. Why are you struggling with level 22 character, not even doing that much damage in Overdrive? You gotta have a better setup than that for these explanation videos. Show off the big damage number. Show how cool this combat can be. I do appreciate a lot of the shots just being similar to the shots from the original trailer. I think that's really cool.
A license, you can use Skell.
Skells are really fun to move around in, but they're definitely not as strong in combat. That might change with the green bar allowing you to use arts instantly, but I don't know if that actually applies to Skells. But having that option, it could be something that could make them a bit more useful, depending.
There are multiple types of Skells, and they can be customized to suit your preferred combat style.
I still recommend just doing ground combat most of the time. It's a lot more fun, it's a lot more versatile, and you definitely deal a lot more damage with it if you know what you're doing. I'll be making combat guides, so, you know, make sure to subscribe, like I said. But yeah, Skells can still be pretty cool. Using super weapons with giant robots is always fun. I always like using giant robots in video games, so it is nice to just have that option, if nothing else, you know?
Lend a hand to earn rewards and strengthen your relationship.
Quests are very, very much worth doing in this game. There's so much lore that gets added to the game by doing quests. You get more races added. Oh, this is actually really interesting. Yeah, but yeah, you get more races added, which unlock more quests. You get so much world building. You have a bunch of really interesting quest lines as well. A lot of really cool stories in those quests. I think that's probably one of the main appeals and draws of the game, because the main story is definitely going to be a little weaker this time around than the other Xenoblade games, but like the real appeal of this game is just the world, the lore, the exploration, the combat, just everything surrounding Mira itself is just really awesome, even if the main story is just a little weaker than probably your average, especially compared to other Xeno games. But even still, I love this game. It's still like a 10 out of 10 to me. There's just so many really fun and really awesome aspects here. So we got Enel, the new party, I think new party member. What's really interesting is that she is the, okay, I think Celica did have like a European accent before, but I think their race in particular, since as you can see Celica on screen here, they are the only characters with European accents in this game, which is really funny when you consider the other Xenoblade games. I wonder if that's intentional or not, if they have an actual European voice actor, or if it's an American just trying to imitate the accent or not. I am kind of curious about that, because the latter might indicate that some of the new stuff was dubbed by Nintendo of Europe again, but I think since X was originally handled by Nintendo of America, it's probably still going to be handled by Nintendo of America, if I had to guess. But, yeah. It looks like she might be a new party member, or at least a new important character in some of the side content, and it looks like she's definitely going to be the same race as Celica, especially since Celica is on screen here, which means Celica's probably going to be more relevant. She was a really cool character the first time around. I know a lot of people liked her a lot.
Or add new allies.
And there's my GOAT HB, the best character in Xenoblade X. Literally me, by the way. That's my GOAT. That's my GOAT. I love Xenoblade. I love HB. Now this part online.
You can hop online.
This is it looks like the UI is a lot cleaner this time around, and there's actually some really interesting things here. One, having a private squad is really nice. That means you don't have to worry about randoms joining your squad and kind of affecting your treasure deals when you were like trying to give equipment to other people, which was a feature in the original game where you could, like, if you got a certain drop, you could like treasure deal it and give it to someone else that was in your squad. But it was always random based on the people that were in your squad. They could always kind of roll on it. And now, if you have a private squad, you can basically always guarantee that it goes to your friend, which is honestly really, really nice. You don't have to worry about just randoms kind of taking your gear when you're doing that. And just if you're a nice guy and want to farm gear for your friends, of course. Now, not everyone's ever going to want to do that, but it is an option, and it's a really nice option to have. What is really interesting, though, is it might be that blade metals were removed from the game as well, because it seems like the Nemesis, the Eaglelith Zero, and the Telethy Plume have a certain amount of attempts that you can attempt for it, which means that you have to do all of your RP gathering and your fights on those, like, at one time. So in the original game, every time you attempted it, you had 8 minutes to try to take off as many HP bars of the Nemesis as possible. And basically, the Nemesis had like millions of HP bars, and this was referred to as RP. And basically, you had a certain amount of you could basically repeat this infinitely until the Nemesis died if you just had enough like of the resource in the game that allowed you to do this, which were really easy to farm. So, by them limiting attempts, if this is limited like I think it's limited, then that essentially means that you only get a certain amount of times to kind of get all of the rewards for taking off a certain amount of RP from the Nemesis. Now, this is really easy to hit if you have proper setups, even still, but it is really interesting regardless. It probably means that since these are going to be global servers this time around, they expect a lot more people to play. They just wanted to limit this to make sure everyone has a chance to kind of get those rewards, and there aren't like a certain group of like really strong players just kind of killing the Nemesis really, really quickly and just not really allowing other people to have fun and play the game, if I had to guess. It does also make the leaderboard feature a lot more interesting in this game as well for the RP running, at least. It's not just the people that just play the game the most. It's people that actually have really strong setups and play with the right people and have really strong groups that can just kind of take have the top spots on the leaderboards this time around, which will make this a little bit more of a respectable leaderboard, at least. Now, leaderboards don't really matter too much in general, but it was really cool to see kind of the max damage leaderboards and stuff like that in the original game when it was coming out and just kind of seeing what builds people came up with. Fun fact, I used to be top of one of those leaderboards around when the game first came out. No, not to brag or anything, not to brag. But I used to be on the top, you know? Regardless, it is cool if they are bringing the online features back. It doesn't look like they're really changing it too much. It would be nice to just kind of have free roam in the overworld with your friends, but even still, it is nice to just kind of be having this option back in general. I do hope they add more Nemesis to the game, though, because I would like to have more features than just the original features that we had in the game. So maybe we'll see if they add anything or if they do anything to kind of revamp the online any further. But even if they don't, it's still a really good time just to play this game. And even having just a little bit of content to play with your friends is still really, really cool.
To team up with other players.
And, you know, this could be a test, and maybe we'll get that Xenoblade X2 that has a lot more features, you know?
Up to 32 players can join a squad, in which you'll work together to complete tasks, such as collecting
one person can easily knock these out in like 5 to 10 minutes, by the way. It's really funny that they have 32 people in the squad, but one person can easily knock those out.
Also, up to 4 squad members can
completing the squad missions
co-op
unlocks the squad
face
task,
off
which allows you to do
against
additional
powerful
missions as well. And these are usually really, really easy. So you can see here, this is what the Nemesis mission looks like. You have like a certain amount of time.
Humanity is a blight.
And we get to the story part of the trailer now.
Words are but wind, and yours rattle loudly. In this harsh land, only strength holds meaning.
From what I can tell, it doesn't seem like anything has changed to the base story, and all of the new story content, at least, is going to be in the epilogue or post-game after you complete the main story that we already knew. Any other new content seems to be more side content based, from what I can tell, at least.
I am here to purge the universe of your disease, once and for all.
Enough of your talk.
Love the Sawano music, by the way. That's a new character, by the way. I think they posted about her on Twitter this morning. I forget what her name is. I have to remember that. I'm sorry. But I know they posted about her on Twitter this morning. Let's see. But yeah. She's another new character, so we're definitely going to have no shortage of new characters in this game, at least.
The only agony.
I'm sure some of these new characters will also be party members.
Fight for humanity's survival.
And then in this trailer, they give us a brief look at the epilogue, but there's a longer look at another thing, and that's what made me really hyped up.
Are available now on Nintendo eShop.
So,
Plus,
did we ever get a special edition? I don't think we did.
A new story has been added.
A brand new story. Oh yeah.
Disappeared? What do you mean? What do we know about it?
Let it all out. We earned a big tearful reunion.
Mira disappearing. The ghost's arrival. Even the Ares. The dots all join up. It's connected.
So there's a lot of really, really interesting implications just in this entire scene here. Just kind of the fact that they say something about Mira disappearing is that kind of goes in line with one of my the simulation theory that I've been thinking about for a while, especially the ghosts appearing as well, and some of the other stuff I've seen in the other extended kind of look at this kind of leads me to believe that as well. But you know, maybe I'm off track, but I'll make a longer video about that in the coming week because I think it's something really interesting to talk about and think about it at the very least. But yeah, we know at the end of Xenoblade X, there's some interesting things that happen. I don't want to spoil it for people that are like not new to this game, but it's something about this planet. Regardless, though, there's a lot of really interesting implications about that ending and the new stuff that we have seen in this trailer at the very least, and the new content at the very least, like the ghosts appearing out of that rift. There's a lot of really interesting implications there.
Mira disappearing.
So the ghosts look a lot like Gnosis, as you might imagine. We'll talk about this more after this trailer. Actually, I want to get to the other trailer, the other part that shows it off in more detail. But the new story stuff looks really interesting, at the very least. Everything being connected, you know, maybe I think that's an intentional line. Maybe that's showing that they're going to connect everything. So, you know, that's cool. The new area also looks fantastic, by the way. Having a more vertical area with, like, floating islands and rocks everywhere does look really, really cool to kind of navigate and explore. You know, I always love flying around in my big giant robot as well. Sawano is returning for new songs, by the way. We saw that on Twitter earlier. Sawano is returning. They were able to hire him back to make some new music, so that's going to be really interesting as well. I don't think it'll sound the same as it did in 2015, but you know, the fact that they were able to get him back gives me some hope for some other things and some other people coming back later in the series as well. But yeah, this is on the actual website. There's an extended version of that. I could not figure out how to do it with audio here, but I saw another video online that was able to play it with audio. And this is a really, really interesting trailer. Obviously, you can see the rift that kind of forms on Mira, where the Gnosis, or sorry, the ghosts come out of it that look conveniently a lot like Gnosis. And function very, very similarly to Gnosis. If you don't know what a Gnosis is, Gnosis are one of the main, antagonistic forces, or enemy forces in Xenosaga. They're kind of like these, I don't want to spoil anything too badly, but they're basically these emotionless kind of creatures that can basically kind of turn people into salt. If they touch you, they can turn you into salt, basically, and you just kind of evaporate and materialize into salt. Now, I want you to look at this trailer, and I want you to see if you notice something here. What is happening to this guy right now? Why is he turning white and kind of evaporating away? That's really interesting. And the people in general this keeps happening to. I think that's really, really interesting, don't you? Now, I have a lot of things that I could say about this, but I think there's very interesting implications, especially because of the fact that they come out of a rift, and I also had the kind of theory that the fog creatures or fog beasts were kind of like semi-Gnosis from the original Blade trilogy of games from Future Connected and Future Redeemed. So it's really interesting that, you know, we're seeing some really other interesting implications here, and that they're either reusing concepts or they really are going to try to connect some things. And based on the actual total lore of the series, I think there are definitely some interesting implications here about how things could be connected. And this just kind of got me thinking and just kind of thinking about this stuff for a while earlier. But like I said, a lot of that is just kind of major spoilers that I want to cover later. Seeing the mech fly around in this cutscene is really awesome, by the way. This cutscene looks really, really cool. So we don't know who is driving in that mech right now, I don't think, but man, this cutscene looks crazy. Maybe it's the hero from the original game. But yeah, that's yeah, there's a lot of really crazy implications just from this kind of shot alone. But yeah, I think it feels more likely that the ghosts from Xenoblade X. This has been a theory for a while, by the way, that the ghosts are Gnosis. We've been thinking about this. I've been having this theory. Other people have had this theory for a really long time. So the fact that we have this trailer that just kind of showcases even more obvious just kind of similarities between them just is really, really cool in my opinion. And, you know, might confirm a lot of our theories. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to this game. I still think there's going to be some really interesting implications for how they end up connecting things. My top theory right now is that Xenoblade X and Mira as a whole is just kind of a simulation taking place in the Encephalon or in an imaginary domain, which is other connections to the rest of the series as well. And it might just be kind of everything is running off the Zohar power, and that's why the ending of Xenoblade X can make sense, even if the I don't want to spoil things, like I said, but even if something happens at the end of Xenoblade X, everything can continue on as normal because the Zohar exists, and is what is actually the real power engine behind everything, and Mira is kind of a simulated place. And the people, that is not to say that the people that are being simulated, that their lives are meaningless or that they're any less real or anything like that, obviously. And I don't want people to think, oh, everything might be cheapened if that is actually the case, because I really think there is a way that they can do that where they don't really cheapen things, and that, there is some really interesting ways that you can tell a story like that. But I feel like I should talk about that in a separate video. I just kind of want to go through this trailer, kind of talk about things, and just kind of be really hyped and give my reactions to everything, and kind of a surface level analysis of everything. But man, I'm really excited to play through this game again. The combat looks as fun as ever, fun as I remember, and maybe they'll even add some new features, some new weapons, maybe some new classes. I don't know. Maybe the epilogue story will include some new stuff. That'd be really nice to see. But even if they don't change anything, that'll make my life easier anyway, because it'll make it easier for me to create guides for all of you. And so please be sure to come back to the channel. Make sure you see all those guides. Make sure you see all my crazy theory video that I'll probably post in like a week. Any other videos that I make, I'll probably start making a few videos leading up to the release, so my channel isn't completely dead before I start making guides. But yeah. Very cool implications about what we're seeing here. I'm really excited to play this game. I hope you're excited too. I don't really know what else to say. I just know this is kind of a ramble video and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. I will see you back here very, very soon. I love Xenoblade X. I hope you love it too. Have a great day.